Hi everyone, I'm Gina Yong, Breastfeeding Consultant and Nurturing Parenting Coach. Let's talk about something very simple but often confusing for many new parents. Pacifiers. Should you give one? Will it ruin breastfeeding? Is it just a shortcut for tired parents? Or could it be a helpful tool if used wisely? In this video, I guide you through the case for and against pacifier. When it might save your sanity, when it's safe to use one, babies who use moms as pacifiers, and how to use pacifiers sparingly. We will also talk about how to choose the right pacifier, when to stop using it, and whether tub sucking is any better. Okay. Along the way, I'll share with you a few stories from real parents that I've worked with over the years and remind you that every baby is indeed unique. So the case for pacifiers. Pacifiers, also known as soothers, can be incredibly helpful when used in the right way. They can calm a fussy baby. They can help baby settle for sleep. They often offer comfort during car rides and vaccinations. And interestingly, there's a research that shows that it might reduce the risk of SIDS. This is according to the AAP Task Force on SIDS, SIDS. Of course, there's an important note that pacifier should not be reinserted once the baby is asleep, and it should never be coated with anything sweet or attached to strings or clips in the crib. So I remember one mom, Aisha, whose baby would cry intensely every evening between 6 to 8 p.m. She called it the witching hour. So after trying everything, she did rocking, walking, baby wearing, everything. I actually suggested the pacifier, and finally it helped baby to settle down just enough to calm down. She didn't overuse it, just kept it for those 2 hours, and it saved her evening and her mental health. So now let's talk about the case against pacifier. Let's look at the other side. Pacifiers can actually interfere with breastfeeding, especially if it's introduced too early. When used too frequently or as a first response to every cry, they may mask important hunger cues. And as a result, by the time the baby is genuinely hungry, they become overly distressed and they struggle to latch properly. This can lead to ineffective milk removal, which can then cause a dip in milk supply. And what often follows is a vicious cycle. Baby doesn't get to feed well at breast, and mommy becomes anxious. A bottle is introduced to ensure baby is well fed. Mom pumps to maintain supply, then baby gets used to the bottle flow, and then latching becomes harder. Breastfeeding feels more stressful than natural. And that's why timing matters. And so does tuning into your baby's signals before reaching out for the pacifier. A mom told me, I gave my newborn a pacifier on day 2 at the hospital, and after that she kept slipping off the breast. The baby has developed a shallow latch and ended up with poor weight gain. It took weeks of relearning, so timing and technique matters a lot, Pacifiers can become a habit that's hard to break and may affect dental alignment or increase ear infection risk if overused, especially after 6 months. But let's be real, parenting is really beautiful, but it's often exhausting. Some babies are content, but others cry a lot. So if you have fed your baby, you have changed baby, you have held and rocked him, and he's still crying, sometimes a pacifier can help everyone, including the little baby, breathe. You're not spoiling your baby, trust me. You're soothing him. But always try to make your baby's actual needs first. If he's hungry, no pacifier in the world will fix that. So when can you safely offer a pacifier? If you're breastfeeding, it's best to wait until breastfeeding is well established before introducing a pacifier. But what does well established mean? Well, it means baby is latching deeply and efficiently without pain or fuss. Feeds are often effective and it doesn't last forever. Baby feeds and finishes at the breast, and mommy don't feel the need to give the bottle, And baby is gaining weight well and steadily. And mommy feels confident that her milk supply is adequate. This usually happens around 3 to 4 weeks, but for some mummies, it may take longer. And on a side note, if you are still struggling with all the above by week 1, you should get the help of a breastfeeding counselor to help assess your feeding, okay? So, mommy I worked with, Sarah, she was anxious to give the baby pacifier during week 2. But when we look closer, we find that actually baby wasn't feeding well and weight gain wasn't great. We waited, worked on the latch, and by week 5, everything has settled. Then she introduced the pacifier then, and it thankfully didn't affect breastfeeding after that. Let's talk about something that many of you may relate to. People say, oh, my baby uses me as a pacifier. My baby just wants to be on me all the time. There is something called non-nutritive sucking. This is when baby sucks for comfort and not for milk. And guess what? It's completely normal. Babies have an innate need to suck, and for many, it's not just about feeding, sucking. Sucking is a deeply soothing, and it helps baby self-regulate. Yeah, it settles their emotion, it calms their nervous system. Non-nutritive sucking actually promotes a sense of security for babies. It's comforting. It's like a soft hug or a security blanket. It's their way of feeling safe in a sometimes very overwhelming world. It helps babies calm down, whether they're tired, they're overstimulated, or simply needing a moment to decompress. Having a breast to latch onto provides the immediate source of comfort. Non-nutritive sucking also supports emotional development. By allowing babies to comfort themselves, they learn to self-soothe. This is an essential skill that helps them feel secure in different environments and different situations. And here's something beautiful. You are the original pacifier. No object can replicate the deep connection, the warmth, and the comfort that only mommy can provide. So mommy, if you are comfortable with having baby on the breast all the time, it's actually wonderful. Not only does it boost your milk supply, because the more baby suck, the more your body will produce milk, but it also deepens your bond. Every time your baby nurses, they're not just getting nutrition, they're connecting with you emotionally, feeling your warmth and hearing your heartbeat. This fosters a deep sense of trust and love between you and your little one. Moreover, comfort nursing supports your baby's emotional regulation, as mentioned. Yeah, the deep physical contact helps your baby's body release oxytocin, the love hormone, making them feel calm and secure. It's these moments that lay the foundation for healthy emotional development, helping your baby grow into a confident, trusting little person. But let's be honest, not every mom can or wants to nurse 24/7. Yeah, you might have older kids, you might need to cook, you might just need 15 minutes of peace. Yeah, in these moments, a pacifier can be a lifesaver. But only when you're confident baby isn't still hungry, and only if you want to use a pacifier. When I was a young mom many years ago, I love comfort nursing, but by 6 p.m. I'm touched out and emotionally drained. Giving the baby a pacifier after a full feed let me take a breather, and that makes me feel a lot better. I could also spend some time with my older kids. Yeah, so for me, pacifier is a yes. Now let's talk about how to use a pacifier sparingly. Using a pacifier with intention and mindfulness is key. Here are some gentle guidelines to help you use it effectively without over-relying on it. So you offer it after a feed, not before. Yeah, pacifier should never replace a proper feed. Always make sure your baby is well fed first. If you offer it before breastfeeding, they might suck for comfort instead of nourishment, which can lead to confusion. So let your baby get the nutrition they need first, breastfeeding, and then offer the pacifier for soothing afterwards if necessary. 2, don't use it to delay a feeding. It can be tempting to pop in the pacifier just to buy time, yeah, especially if you are in a public place or in the middle of something. But however, delaying feeding can cause confusion about hunger cues, and it might lead to baby not feeding well when they do nurse. A well-fed baby is a happy baby, so use the pacifier only when they are content and not in need of nourishment. Use it when baby is fussy, overtired, or during transition, like in a car ride. A pacifier can be a real lifesaver when a baby is in this situation, yeah, having trouble to calm down, and they need comfort, but they aren't hungry. So car rides, doctor visits, nap time, it can be tough. And in this moment, the pacifier can really help them settle more easily, and it may save you a lot of stress. Avoid giving it constantly throughout the day. Pacifier isn't meant to be a substitute for comfort or attention. If your baby is constantly using it throughout the day, it can hinder your connection, also make it harder for your baby to self-soothe in other ways. It might be more helpful to offer comfort through physical touch, sing-song, gentle rocking, rather than relying on the pacifier at all times. Use the pacifier as one of your tools, not a go-to for every single situation. Yeah? While pacifiers are a great tool for calming babies, they shouldn't be your first response every single time your baby is upset. Sometimes your baby might need just a cuddle, a burp, or just a change in position rather than a pacifier. Pay attention to your baby's cues and respond appropriately to their needs. Pacifier should be just one option in all your soothing toolkits. Yeah. So when it comes to pacifiers, how to choose it? The design really matters actually, whether your baby is breastfed or bottle fed. The right pacifier can support proper oral mouth development and can make smoother transition for your baby. So for breastfed babies, choosing the right pacifier is especially important to avoid nipple confusion and to support the baby's natural sucking pattern. But it's also crucial for bottle-fed babies because their jaw development may need extra help since they aren't getting the same kind of exercise and coordination that breastfeeding naturally provides. Here are 5 key features to look for when choosing the right pacifier for your baby. Number 1, rounded tips. Not the flat or the orthodontic ones. Not the big ball at the end of the pacifier, but a gently rounded tip one. This shape better mimics the nipple. Number 2, gently sloping tips. It allows baby's tongue to actually move naturally underneath the teeth. It should be white base. It encourages baby to open wide and flange lips outwards, just like during breastfeeding. Of course, it should be of soft material. Usually silicone is good. It will be comfortable and safe for baby's mouth. And the shield or the pacifier should be large enough, at least 3 to 4 centimeters across, to prevent baby from pushing the whole thing into the mouth, which is a serious choking risk. So I once had a mom switch from a narrow orthodontic pacifier to a wide base one, and her baby stopped refusing the breast. It took a few days of trying, of course, but in the end, the baby latched on better. So the shape of the pacifier does play a role. So how long can you use the pacifier? You can use the pacifier safely, but with some important timing considerations. Starting from around 2 to 4 weeks old, once breastfeeding is established and your baby is nursing effectively, you can introduce a pacifier. By this time, your baby's suckling skills are developed and you can avoid interfering with the feeding. Ideally. And it's also ideally limiting it to sleep times or moments of distress only. Pacifiers can be a helpful tool in soothing the baby during naps, bedtimes, stressful moments, but they shouldn't become a constant comfort item throughout the whole day. Use it sparingly, helps to ensure that it doesn't replace any other kind of soothing methods. As mentioned previously. Then you should also mindfully start weaning between 12 to 18 months. At this stage, your baby's physical and emotional development is evolving and they are starting to rely less on a pacifier for comfort. So you can begin gently offering alternative ways of self-soothe like a soft toy, a blanket, and gradually reduce the pacifier use. Try to aim to stop completely by age 2 because prolonged pacifier use beyond this age can start to interfere with your child's dental development, speech patterns, and overall growth. The longer pacifiers are used, the higher the likelihood they may contribute to issues like misaligned teeth or speech delays. Past the age of 2, the risks of continued pacifier use begin to outweigh the benefits. At this point, it's essential to encourage your child to rely on other coping mechanisms and allow their oral development to progress naturally. So how to wean, weaning off the pacifier is a process. It's not an event, okay? So that I have tips to make it easier. Start with nap time, then work on to night sleep time, Replace with other comfort objects like a lovely soft toy, mommy's scarf, anything that comforts the baby. Try this. Cut a tiny slit in the teeth so that when baby suck on the pacifier, it doesn't feel nice anymore, Another thing is try extra cuddles and reassurance. Avoid weaning during big transitions like teething, travel, or starting daycare. Now, last but not least, perhaps thumb sucking is better? Now, some babies skip pacifiers and turn to their thumbs. It's an instinctual and natural behavior that has been part of human development since the time of Adam and Eve. But have you ever wondered why thumb sucking seems to be more of a long-term habit for modern children, while ancient humans might have outgrown it faster? Here's an interesting theory. Ancient humans had to adapt quickly to a dangerous and demanding environment, right? Life was filled with immediate threats and challenges like hunting, gathering, and surviving in the wild. Children in those societies often had to take an active role from a young age. This faster maturation process meant they developed self-regulation and other coping mechanisms earlier than modern children. For example, ancient children might have been more likely to wean from comfort behaviors like thumb sucking earlier than modern children because they need to focus on learning survival skills. They couldn't afford to be distracted by habits that didn't serve them in a harsh world. Interestingly, while ancient humans breastfeed for longer periods than we do today, sometimes up to 3 to 5 years, breastfeeding was not just about nourishment, it was also about emotional security and protection, giving babies an essential connection to their mothers for survival and bonding. However, as they grow older and their environments demanded more active participation, they would naturally wean from thumb sucking and even breastfeeding at a faster rate because they were required to take on more responsibility and independence at a younger age. So in contrast, modern humans live in a relatively safe and pampered world, where comfort items like pacifiers, blankets, and even 24/7 attention are abundant. This has led to a more prolonged childhood where comfort behaviors like thumb sucking may persist longer because children are not faced with the same environmental pressures that ancient humans had. While thumb sucking is a deeply natural behavior, it's something that many babies turn to instinctively. It can become a challenge if the habit continues beyond a certain age. With pacifiers, parents have the advantage of control, Pacifiers are a tool that can be easily removed once your child is ready to wean from it. On the other hand, thumb sucking, which is harder to break, can continue into later childhood, potentially causing issues like oral misalignment or speech delay. You can't take away the thumb, Ultimately, while ancient humans breastfed for longer periods, they also mature faster in other areas like weaning from thumb sucking and developing coping strategies simply because survival demanded it. Today, pacifiers can serve as a modern tool to help us navigate this balance between comforting our babies and helping them grow through a more structured weaning process. And so because of that, I actually think that the pacifier is a great invention, is a great tool. Mummies and daddies, everything I've shared today is general guidance based on experience and research. But you must remember your baby is unique. All babies are unique, Some babies hate pacifier, some love them. Some moms love comfort nursing, others need space. So trust your instinct. Adjust the advice to suit your baby, your body, and your family life. Remember that you're doing a beautiful job just by being here and learning. If you have found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to this channel. Tap the bell so you won't miss more nurturing parenting tips. Please do help my channel grow by sharing this with another mama friend or a group. We all need this kind of support. And tell me in the comments, what would you like me to cover next? Is it baby sleep? Solids perhaps? Gentle discipline? Sibling rivalry? Drop all your ideas below. I read every comment and I'm here for you. See you in the next video.